As we look forward to the biggest tournament for Star Wars Destiny this year, many players are starting to think about honing their skills.
We spend a few minutes talking about how you can make smarter decisions in your gameplay, whether you aim to be a world champion or get one more win as you did last week at your local tournament.
We are also joined by Steve from Cascade Games to talk to you about the new Galactic Qualifiers just announced.
This is episode 84, Making Smarter Decisions.
You have been well trained.
No. You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Oh, do not.
I'm not afraid.
Please don't try.
Sorry, there's goop in my eye. We came back too soon.
What? And I'll have to edit the show. Gosh, guys.
Oh. I mean, I'm sorry.
Okay. How's Destiny going for you guys? It's another week in Destiny.
It's another
We're
week.
almost close to Worlds.
We are. And
we're so close.
The competition on TTS is getting fierce. Might I tell you, I am getting some really, really good reps in on TTS,
I bet.
man. Everybody is just bringing out the heat. So it's very good. You know, I see Matt Cousineau on there a lot. I see his name on there a lot, but he is always in games. Like, he always has. Yep. I'm sure he always has.
I don't know when that guy sleeps. Crazy Canadian.
I don't think he sleeps.
No. He has a kid and he plays that much Destiny. He's crazy.
He's a zombie.
Man. That's cool. What about you, Kim? Oh, sorry, Mike.
Go for it, Mike. Mike was like leading right in. Go for it, buddy.
No, I was just going to say that I've been playing the Boba Seventh Sister a lot and still really enjoying that deck. It's getting kind of beat up a little bit now. The meta is kind of focusing down, and it's, but I'm still having pretty good luck with it. I'm at a winning percentage, so that's good. Yeah. That's good. I'm like at 70% probably or something like that. So
excellent.
Yeah, that's day 2.
That's better than my winning percentage.
If I was going to.
Well, you'll be there in spirit. We'll put you to work.
That's right.
I should do something.
What about you, Kim?
I'm going to make a custom overlay for you guys, though, for your...
I'm so excited.
I got something brewing.
That's all Kim right there.
What are you doing in Destiny, Kim?
Me? Yeah. So, this week, well, we kind of had our local tournament only 3 people showed up for. So that didn't work out so good. So I'm gonna take Ayla, Ray tomorrow night just for the casual play to see if we can get a couple more folks there. And everybody's kind of taking a break locally because of regionals and that kind of stuff. So with some of the news that we're going to be talking about, that might gear them back up because there's going to be another fun event in our local area. So hopefully that revs some engines and gets people excited again. But other than that,
very cool.
I guess I was too quiet. Sorry, guys. I'll fix that.
Oh, you too quiet?
I guess so.
Oh my gosh, no wonder I can't see it.
It's that new. It's the new setup. I'm messing up.
It just always looks like you're talking to somebody really important up there.
Oh yeah, I'm still trying to get used to this giant TV up above me.
You guys, I swear.
What's up with you, Jason?
Well, a lot of the stuff is up with me. I think we'll be talking a little bit later in the show, but it's been a good week. I think for the Chance Cube, we're all really excited that our Kickstarter got funded.
Yay!
That is awesome. So thanks to everyone who jumped in and helped with that.
Yes, thank you so much.
So a lot more work to be had now that we have responsibilities. I can't just go to World and do nothing. I think we're talking a little bit later.
Sorry, guys. That's us on delay on Twitch.
Now people are expecting things. They've given you their hard-earned dollars for good coverage, and they expect it.
Well, I'm going to be there. Of course, there'll be good coverage.
Oh,
that's right. Kim will make sure we're doing the job right with her trusty sidekick.
As long as I don't get snowed out or something, like, good grief. There was like 12 feet of snow. Not 12 feet. There was like 12 inches of snow in that neck of the woods this past week. Like, I'm not driving into that. I'm just telling you now. You all need to get it cleaned up out there before I drive in a couple of weeks.
Excellent. All right. Well, we're going to breeze right on into the news because we have a special guest today we want to bring on. So
about my name? What are you doing?
We're
going to breeze right into the news.
Oh.
Kim, breeze. Oh, my gosh.
Mike, go.
Let me take that back, huh? You'll find what you need.
And all right, news
well,
time.
everyone, we're going to talk about some news. There's some new things that happened.
There's some
There
stuff.
are. Oh,
There's some stuff.
You guys don't.
So, let's go ahead and welcome to the show our special guest, Steve Cameron from Cascade Games. Steve, how are you doing?
I'm doing real well. How are you guys?
Hi, Steve.
Great. I am doing great.
So, Steve, can you let our listeners know like who you are and what you do? Because you're like the mysterious man behind the curtain.
So my name's Steve. I work for Cascade Games. We run the majority of the FFG premier events for Destiny, X-Wing, and L5R all over the country. I've been to every Galactic Qualifier so far. I'm going to miss one coming up on Memorial Day because we've got a double up weekend, and I haven't figured out how to be in two places at once yet. So
No cloning? You haven't figured out cloning yet?
no, we've got our best minds working on it, but we haven't cracked that nut yet.
So which one are you going to be at?
So that's always up in the air. And the other day, up until the other day, I was probably going to be at KublaCon, and then we've had some different switch arounds and personnel and who's going where, and so I might be in Atlanta at MomoCon. And that could change back the other way, but we'll figure out. So the one thing I know for sure is I'm going to have a great time somewhere on Memorial Day weekend, playing games and doing stuff. So
That sounds right.
Well, I can only speak for myself when I say Kubla is probably going to be the better of the two. I mean, the chance
where you guys are going to be, right? Are you going to be there, like streaming and doing all that good stuff?
In force. This is in my backyard, so we will be there.
Right on.
We got we have some surprises for people. We got some pretty cool things set up with the organizers, and I think it's going to be really fun.
Good deal. Yeah. No. Again, it's like I'm good either way. I tend to like to go to shows I haven't been to before, and I have not been to KublaCon. But I was at MomoCon last year, and it's a great little show. And so I would encourage anybody in that Atlanta area or within a day's drive to come check out the show, because it's a really good time. It's a good group of people putting on a great show. And then, of course, anybody in the Bay Area, I think it's the only show in town, and it's going to be a good one at KublaCon. So you can't lose no matter which coast you're on.
Excellent. So since we have you, we have just a couple questions, and just feel free to give us your thoughts. We wanted to say how grateful we are for Cascade Games for jumping into this Destiny scene, and just wanted to kind of a quick overview of how you think events have been going.
I think they've been going pretty good, and thank you. It's we kind of parlayed this from the time we spent at the X-Wing Open last year, and then kind of built that up and have tried some different things, combo events, and just trying to get more events in general. We Destiny was new for us this year, and this series has been, generally successful. I would say, sometimes we get not quite the turnout we're looking for. A lot of these qualifiers have ended up in the, 30 to 40 player range. And we would like to see, like we did at the first one at PAX Plugged, 100 players at Adepticon a couple of weeks ago in Chicago, 120 players. And those are the events that we like to, because they're big and they're fun and exciting. And some have been a little bit smaller, but everybody has a great time. Everybody seems to enjoy grinding for tickets and getting spot gloss and all that kind of stuff. So they've been fun events to run, and that Destiny community is one of the things that personally I really enjoyed last year, was just meeting kind of the X-Wing community and the FFG loyalists in general, and what a great community that was. And I've just seen the exact same thing from the Destiny community, right? People that are passionate about this game and invested in having it be successful, and that just enjoy playing, right? And great sportsmanship and all that. So it's been a real joy to get to run these as well.
What games did you come from before Destiny?
I mean, Cascade Games has been doing a ton of games for a long time. Most notably, Magic. We were Magic Grand Prix organizer for several years. Yu-Gi-Oh! We work with a ton of other publishers as well. Our Deck, Ultra Pro. So we've been helping develop OP and Premier Event organized play for a lot of publishers for a long time.
Cool.
I may have met you at a San Jose Grand Prix if you ever came out here for one of those. I used to play a little Magic back in the day.
I did not do a lot of the Grand Prix stuff. I've stuck more to the conventions and the other games, but you very well may have attended a Cascade Games event in the past.
Awesome. So kind of changing gears a little bit, still talking about the events, but more focused. Can you tell us a little bit why you went to the double elimination format?
So the format is actually Fantasy Flight's choice, right? They come up generally with the format. We run the events, and then we give them feedback on what players are saying and how things are working out and that type of thing. So people tend to kind of have a love-hate relationship, I think, with the double elimination. Like, they're obviously happy if they make it, up there to the rounds 5 and 6. But they've got the pods to fall back on and keep grinding. So, and again, most people just want to play. So I don't know if Fantasy Flight's going to change that format for upcoming seasons or what have you. But, we tend to kind of offer them advice on what we're hearing from the community and players to get things on track and tweaked to what the community is looking for. So if you've got ideas, please let us know.
Cool.
Did you bring the idea up to FFG, or was it mostly just like a brainstorming session, like you talk about, like just in talking about how the players are reacting?
They had the format ready to go. They're like, we want you to do these things, and we'll, and here's the format we want to run. We went around with some clarification stuff, and we tend to let them come up with it, and then, like say, execute on it, and then provide feedback to tweak it. So, and I think you saw some changes from last year's System Open, X-Wing System Opens, to this year, and that was based on the feedback we got from players. And FFG, we listen, FFG listens, and it's always evolving, but that evolution doesn't happen without feedback from the community.
Awesome.
Yeah, and people definitely do have that love-hate relationship. We had Joe on last week or the week before, and he definitely had strong opinions about double elimination and how he feels about if you lose 2 games on the day. Yeah.
Losing too quick is a bummer, right? Like, it's horrible. Nobody wants to show up for a whole day and play 2 games and be out. But like I said, I've watched people bounce back and make just play pods the rest of the day and walk away with fistfuls of tickets. So
they just had to make their morning donation first.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, and what frequently happens is they're like, okay, well, since we alternate the format, right? Trilogy, standard, like that. Mm-hmm. People run the tournament in the morning, and then they flip over to the other format and run the pods all afternoon so that they can do better the next day, which is pretty cool. And so you see a lot of practicing in the pods and people running through and fine tuning for the next day's event. So it really makes it a whole weekend experience. So.
Yeah. Wow.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about your new events that you have going?
Yeah, so we just announced this past weekend a bunch of new Destiny events. So we've added a Destiny Galactic Qualifier to DreamHack Austin. which is coming up here right at the 1st of June. That is another great show, esports festival. So if you get tired of pitching cards and throwing dice, you can go check out Counter-Strike tournaments and Smash Brothers tournaments, and the whole thing's like a big rave, honestly, the whole weekend. And in Austin, it's a great town. So that'll be your second opportunity after the MomoCon and KublaCon weekend to play after Worlds. And then 2 weeks later, we've confirmed at Origins, and that will be a full Galactic Qualifier. I'm sorry, what's that?
That's my home turf. So that's the one that's in my backyard.
Yeah, there you go.
So I love Origins.
Well, we'll see you there.
So. I'll be there.
So that'll be a full Galactic Qualifiers, and then we're running X-Wing System Open and L5R Kotai as well there. So it's a big FFG weekend at Origins. And then 2 weeks later, or no, it's the next week actually. These things
busy guy, man. When do you sleep?
Origins is 5 days, right? Mm-hmm. So it's long. But then the weekend after that, in Seattle, there was going to be a local convention in Seattle, Evergreen Tabletop Expo. Those guys had to hit the pause button this year to do some reconfiguring. So we were going to run our events in conjunction with those guys. They had to put a pause button on it. They're reorganizing. They're going to come back next year stronger and bigger and better than ever. And we'll reintegrate with them at that point. But we have a Cascade Games tabletop weekend in Seattle, June 23rd, 24th. And that is a very full slate of games. So Destiny Galactic Qualifiers, X-Wing System Open, Legend of the Five Rings Kotai, Grand Kotai actually, Netrunner National Championship, Rune Wars National Championship, and a Game of Thrones Regional Championship. So yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah, that's close enough. I can make that.
Yeah. So that's going to be a big, fun weekend. We're trying to pull in. Love to have you guys there. We're trying to pull in a ton of streamers to be able to kind of roll all of those games out. Try and set up some premium tables and have streaming set up for all the games. So that should be fun. And it's it's not a convention. There's no badge to buy. So it's just come and play games all weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then likewise, we've rescheduled the Houston events that we had. We have rescheduled those, and that is also a standalone event in Houston, July 14th and 15th. So a Houston Galactic Qualifier and an L5R Kotai.
Wow. Steve, there seems to be an awful lot of Texas love happening.
It is kind of worked out like that. If you had told me that I was going to spend most of my time in Texas running gaming conventions, I'd be like, I understand Texas is big, but are there that many gamers? But yeah, man, there are, I will never turn down an excuse to go to Austin. It's a fun town.
Yeah.
And there's, just because it's big, like there's stuff in San Antonio, there's stuff in Dallas, there's stuff in Austin, right? So we end up back there quite a bit.
That's cool. Jason, Matthew Scott knows we expect him to cover the entire state, right?
Yes, he knows very much.
Awesome. Well, I really want to thank you for coming out and talking to us about your upcoming events, and
I'm excited.
Yeah, and answering our goofy questions for you.
Cool. Yeah. One more thing that I'd like to mention, if I've got a couple of seconds. So in conjunction with all these great new events, we always need help staffing these events, and we have just added to our staffing portal some certification tests for judges. So we've got basically if you're applying to help us with one of these events, we've got now an entry level certification testing for Destiny, X-Wing, and L5R. Just trying to up the bar in terms of the quality of judges we got at these events, so that players are having a great time, comfortable knowing that they're going to get the right call at the table, and encourage you, if you can't make an event to play, but you're interested in helping out, please come check out the staffing portal, cascadegames.com. Sign up, create yourself a profile, take some certification tests, and apply to come help us out at these shows. We're always looking for fun people that are passionate about the games they play.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve.
That's a fun opportunity.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah,
absolutely.
If I didn't want to play so bad and do coverage.
Right, yeah.
That's what most people run into.
Excellent.
Steve,
well,
I'll
Steve,
see you
thank you
in
so much
June.
for joining us. And we'll be seeing you soon
thanks a
out
lot
there.
for having me, guys.
Absolutely. I'll be sure to stop and say hello when I'm up there in June. So I'll see you at Origins.
Yes, absolutely. Looking forward to it.
What was that noise?
This is an awkward. Okay, bye, Steve.
No.
Bye.
Oh, there was like a.
I thought
No, the stream will hear it. It's like this weird crackling noise. It sounds like
I
it's
heard it
hanging up.
too. Yeah.
Okay.
So Fantasy Flight Games is going to be doing the Hyperspace Report, which is going to be a kind of a news conference that they're going to be doing on Tuesday, which is the day before World's Gameplay begins. They've said they're going to be talking a lot about new Star Wars products that are coming. There's a lot of speculation out there as to what it's going to be they're going to talk about. Anything from Star Wars Destiny, Way of the Force, release dates. There's a lot of speculation that they'll be
That's what I think
doing. I think they're going to do
I'm with Mike.
a little bit. Okay, let's talk on top of each other. Let's do it. What's happening?
All right there, Mr. Smarty Pants. Go on with your bad self.
Now, what were we going to say?
No, I'm done now.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm just going to glare at you the rest of the show. Which side
Please
is he
don't.
on, Mike? Is he on my left or is he on my right? I don't know.
He's on your left.
Arrgh.
Ha
There's also some speculation out there that perhaps there'll be talk of a new online platform for Destiny. Since Tabletop Simulator is not a Fantasy Flight Games product, and they have the Asmodee Interactive that is now getting started, this would be a great game for such a platform.
Is there anything else on that platform yet, or it's just the companion for yeah. The other, oh my gosh, I have pieces for it right there. Come on, guys, help! The other stupid game that is right there on my table, and I can't remember the name of it.
What? Dice Masters?
No, that's over there.
Star Wars LCG?
No, they made a companion from that Asmodee game for
Star Wars Rebellion?
the other one. Not Rebellion. The little oh my Atlanta, Georgia. Why can't
I don't have it on my shelf.
Yes, I bet you do. Imperial Assault. Oh god, that
Oh, okay.
why was that? That should not have been that hard. Oh,
Wow. That would seemed way harder than it should have been.
that was
All right,
way
hopefully
harder
that-
to get to. But I thought I heard that they had. I thought that's what they had announced on that digital platform was a companion to that. And then, but I think that's the only thing that's been released so far. So this makes sense and I agree. I think, and that's what I started to say, Jason, when I was talking over you so rudely, is that it's going to be that digital. I think that's what they're going to announce. Maybe not when, but that it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily think it'll be a companion app because I don't think a companion app would work very well unless it was something like a deck builder or like collection keeper.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
man,
for
now it's
Destiny,
too
gonna
high.
Have to be. Yeah, I think for Destiny it's going to have to be something similar to
Mic
TTS.
check.
But I mean, for Imperial Assault, it was some kind of companion that would let you play solo or let you play something else. I can't remember what it was. Somebody's got to know.
My thoughts are, it is too high still. My thoughts are that if it's a companion app, it'll be like a deck builder or collection type gatherer, or it'll be a desktop application where it'll be like probably just like TTS, except it might. I don't want to say like be smoother, but I'm sure everything will be imported into the game like from the get, where you won't have to build a deck on a separate website and then import it. It might just be a little more streamlined.
That's a thought. That's a good thought. I'm curious if there'll be a cost. I bet there'll be a cost.
Okay, so wait.
Little to the left, Mike. Little to the right.
We're not gonna. This is on the fly. Okay, that's where I'm leaving it. I'll just move closer to the mic, I guess. Okay. Yeah. Speculation, I think, will be that app, and they are going to release some sort of the next set teaser, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to pump up their other. You're going to hear new releases for Legion and the other guys too. So it's not going to, I'm sure they're going to. You don't think they'll talk about any more Legion stuff? I bet you they do.
Oh, I'm sure they'll talk about Legion. They're going to talk about the new squad releases and all that stuff. But just as for Destiny, I hope they don't talk about some more dice binders.
I did see a picture of those on somebody's shelf today, and when they're on a shelf, they look really nice. I'll give them that.
Yeah,
that's as far as
dice binders.
But I'll give them that. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious too, because I was going through the registration giveaways that they're doing for Worlds. One of them is a binder of sorts. And they didn't say dice binder, they said card binder. But I'm wondering, since it's given to the Destiny players, if it's some sort of special dice binder. I hope not. I mean, I'll look at it and say, oh, that's pretty. But, meh.
I'm still salty that I never got another Worlds box, but hopefully they'll have new ones this year, and I'll be able to score a sweet red one. I hope they do red this year.
There you go. Yeah.
It would match your villain stuff.
And as we, since the hyperspace report is happening during Worlds, move towards Worlds, if you head over to our Facebook page, we'll be doing kind of a helpful Worlds tip every day of the week. Even if you're not going, it could be helpful to help boost your play or just a general preparation for large scale events. And we'll be at Worlds now. So I mean, we were going to be at Worlds before, but we were just going to look at things, and now we're actually going to do stuff. And now Kim's coming. And
as of right now, they still have hyperspace report tickets.
Yeah, because it's Tuesday, and a lot of folks for Destiny are actually coming on Wednesday or Thursday because of when they're playing, and they didn't want to take the whole week off of work. So that's hard. Like, even when I bought my plane tickets, I didn't know about the hyperspace report. I'm landing at 10:30, so I'm booking it over to the game center to get there for the noon talk on the 1st. It'll be great for the locals who are there, because now they're going to make it a general entry thing. So even if you're not a registered Worlds ticket holder, you can grab one of those slots if you're up there in the Minnesota area and just kind of check out what's going on here.
And they're going to stream it too, right? Didn't they say they're going to stream it on FFG's Twitch?
Yeah, their Twitch stream will be super active that week with all of the World stuff, but this will be what kicks it off with all the Star Wars stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, Destiny is their premier game right now, with Legion getting a lot of notice amongst the miniature players out there. So it'll be interesting to see what the news focus is, because we know the card game's on its way out. But Imperial Assault, X-Wing, Legion, even Armada to a certain extent are all well and strong. So lots of Star Wars to come from FFG, and maybe a new game. I mean, Legion came out almost a year after Destiny, year and a half. So maybe it's time for maybe they're just going to crank out another one.
Yeah,
hopefully they don't.
I need more things to buy.
Tap it out. I need a white flag.
Right. But speaking of Worlds, we want to reiterate the fact that we're very thankful that our Kickstarter got funded. 34 wonderful individuals were able to come up with
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Little over our goal. And just so everyone knows, that money will not be paying for travel. That money is actually going towards the venue cost of the Chance Cube Open, which will now, ticket sales will be live within the next 24 hours. We didn't quite get enough funded to make the event free, which would be nice. But we do want to make sure we have, maybe next year. We do want to have some nice prizes for everyone. So we're going to have plenty of boxes of packs that we're going to be giving away. The winner will take home a box. For only $10, you can get yourself in here, and the winner will take home a box of their choice. And the rest of the packs will be divided up amongst those who come. And we'll even, I think, give away one random box to someone who shows up, because that'll be fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I hope the winner gets no wins all day, and then they win a box, because that would be the best.
That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
So it'll be super fun. We'll have a game stream that night, so the Week of Worlds will not be this show, but that very evening when you would normally tune in for the show, we'll have some game streaming from the Chance Cube Open, which would be great. Really looking forward to that. And Kim will be coming down with Miss Katie.
Mm-hmm.
And
we are road tripping it. 12
Road
hours.
trip.
Oh dear God.
So it'll be super great.
I thought 8 was rough to Nova. We're gonna try 12.
Good luck.
We may not try 12 again, but we're gonna try 12.
It'll be fun. So,
we'll have a good time.
As we continue to shake out our content plan, just keep your eye on this Twitch stream. Follow, subscribe if you can. Free subscription for Twitch Prime users. That'll certainly help us out. You'll get those notifications when we go live, and we'll do our best to make sure that the go live notifications are saying exactly what we're going live for. Sometimes we miss it, but we'll do our best. Whether it's gameplay or interviews, we'll have lots of podcasts out that week. Our competitive team will be up there as well, and we'll try to get a lot of insight and opinions and feedback from them throughout the week. So it'll be super good. I see the word super a lot, which is kind of odd.
Super.
You guys just haven't called me out on it yet, so I'm really subconscious about it now. So, okay, now we can open a pack and dissect a card.
Yeah.
Hello, what have we here?
All right. Let's pull a pack out of the box.
I can't believe you haven't opened this.
I know it's very hard.
I don't have that kind of restraint.
There's an empty pack in here. I don't need that.
Whoopsie daisy.
All right. Let's see what we got. What, dude? What's it gonna be this week?
It's a me.
Yeah, it's a Mario.
me.
It's a Mario. It's a me.
Well, that would be quite a surprise, wouldn't it?
It's a me. A Mars, a lightsaber. All right, we're gonna do it. All right, here we go.
Oh boy.
It's yellow.
God. Uh-oh.
I must have 30 of these.
Oh, don't be the card I think it is.
Stolen intel.
Ugh.
All right, Patrinky Arena, Subdue, Lure, and the worst card in this set. Well, I hate pulling this card. It's probably not a bad card.
I have so many of those.
What?
Bartering?
Yes. I probably have at least 8 copies of this card. So this will make 9.
So we're gonna give that away tonight.
So let's talk about it since we got it.
Yeah, let's
try to
talk
make
about
it.
Okay, so
well, for one, it comes in every box.
Yeah, you get 2 in every box. So
2 in every box.
1 box you have enough for your set. Let me go ahead and read the card. So it's a yellow neutral. It's a 1 cost bartering. It the die sides are 1 focus, 1 discard, 1 resource, plus 1 resource, a special and a blank. And the special says, gain 1 resource. You may force each player to draw a card. Yeah, and the art is I hate it because I look at it so much. No, the art is not that bad though, and I think the die matches the card extremely well. Other than that,
I haven't put it in a deck.
I haven't either.
I don't know that I've seen it played against me either.
And I'm so salty about it, pulling so many of them that I don't want to put it in a deck. But maybe in a mill deck this might be good.
The focus is helpful. I'll give it that.
Yeah, in a mill it would be good because you are forcing the opponent to put that card into their hand, so you're getting them out of their draw pile, maybe making it easier to get a discard. That's
interesting.
Well, depending upon what you're playing, like if you're playing Kylo, or even like if you're playing one of those decks where you want them to have cards in hand because you're guessing colors or numbers, that sort of thing.
And that itself is a double-edged sword because you're giving them another chance to do in a turn.
Yeah. And you're only gaining a resource for it.
Yeah, I mean, gaining the resource is good. So essentially this has two resource gaining sides and then one modified.
Yes,
so it's 50% chance of gaining additional resources. It definitely feels like if you are playing this, you're going to override it later in the game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's another thing too. It's an upgrade, so it's taking up one of your upgrade slots. So I really only see it being played in either a mill deck where your upgrade slots aren't super important, or like Jason said, played early to maybe gain a resource or two, and then quickly overridden.
Yeah,
because it is a good stepping stone, and for a turn you at least have a focus or some resources.
Yeah, I like it. What's its original cost again? Remind me.
1 resource.
1. Okay, so that would help that 3 cost. So if you're waiting to get a 3 cost out, if you put the 1 down now, next turn you'd have the resources to override it.
Yeah, that wasn't a good one.
Or more, yeah.
Should we do one more? You guys want to do one more?
Is that a dud? If you pull a second one, I'm gonna.
If I pull a second one, I will burn this whole box right now. I will burn this whole box right now.
Burn it down.
All right, let's do another one. I don't like that card at all.
Was that a dud?
Should have just.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is a dud. Go on.
Can't even give it away now.
Nope, I ain't even giving it away because I don't want to give no. Okay, here we go. Here's a blue card. It's a little bit better. I like blue. Okay, so we got Spell of Removal, Equip, Counter Strike, Double Strike, and the Hush 98 Comm Link.
Now that I have 1,000 of.
This is another card I have a lot of.
I got a few of those.
But I like this card a lot more. And I'll tell you what. Well, first let me read the card. It's a Hush 98 Comm Link. It's a neutral blue. 2 cost. It's an upgrade. Its die sides are 1 focus, 2 focus, 1 shield, 1 resource, plus 1 resource, and has an action. Remove this die to activate any number of your characters and or support in the order of your choice.
That's pretty awesome.
This card is great. The two focus sides, a 1 focus and a 2 focus. A shield, shields have definitely made a comeback. I feel like shields are very important. Heroes and villains can play this card equally well. The die sides aren't favored in any direction really, and neither is the action. Remove this die to activate any number of your characters or supports. That's great. You can roll in your first character that has the Hush 98, then on your second turn remove this and activate everything else.
Think about that in a vehicle deck.
Oh,
like
it's crushing in a vehicle deck, yes. Or even a deck where you just are playing a droid or two, and then you're going to end up using that droid to focus up some stuff and really work your deck. I like this card a lot. Hush 98's good. This is definitely better than our last pull.
I can.
All right, I feel a lot better about that one.
That's a better note to end on, right?
Definitely. Wait, hold on. Is it talking about hockey in the chat? Go Sharks! Go Sharks!
So if I can't give away your card, I guess I'll have to give away something else tonight, huh?
Clean up the wall. Screw you, pal. That wall looks good. I'll tell you what.
Mike he's even got cool pillows over there.
Look at Star Wars pillows over here, Legions over here, Star Wars are all here, and then I got my little Seeker droid right there. Bam.
I like your Seeker droid antenna.
All right. What do you guys have to say about the Hush 98 Comm Link? Anything else?
I would agree with you on it, and it's not. It's actually I kind of want to go back and take a look. I don't know. It's not one that I had slotted in that deck, but I think I might, before I go tomorrow, I might add that in there.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that we haven't seen it, or maybe we have, and I'm just ignorant, in a vehicle deck. Because it could speed up a vehicle deck like crazy, especially in later turns when you've got 4 or 5 vehicles on the table.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's where it would be fun. Yeah, that's where I think it would be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
All right, let's give something away.
Sounds.
Look, I ain't in this for your revolution, and I'm not in it for you, Princess. I expect to be well paid. I'm in it for the money.
Take it away, Kim.
All right. So this week, we have that really, really awesome deck box from Geeks First that I'm super jealous that somebody's going to get this.
Mm-hmm.
That Jason is looking for. Uh-oh. I feel like there should be like some Benny Hill music happening. We're gonna bring on my good buddy Rex. Rexy.
Oh, that's so cool.
I do want to remind you guys that yes, what Jason is holding is the deck box. There are instructions on Geeks First website on how to put it together. It's safer to send it to you that way than to try to. But I don't think you have to glue any of this or anything. Is my understanding. I'm not sure. Matthew Scott has put one together, I think. If he's still in the chat, maybe he can update me. They're so... check out their website, seriously. Geeks First. If you missed the show last week, go back and watch. He brought some really cool stuff on. So we ask you guys, in light of that, what's your favorite go-to Star Wars Destiny accessory? A couple of you really brought the thunder in your long answers. Appreciate that.
Long
super thrilled
answers.
about that one. My favorites, though, were there were so many of you who said there was a playmat that your daughter helped you design, or things that you had made with your kids. That was really cool to read.
Mm-hmm.
That those are some of the more special things that you play when you play Destiny, and so that ended up being a really cool, fun, heartwarming question for me. I enjoyed it. So kudos to all of those. And Simon mentioned his really awesome playmat that he designed, which is a Never Tell Me the Odds, really cool bit solo mat that I love. He shared with me. All right, let's see who wins. I can't get a hold of anything. They're all slipping and sliding. And... Okay. Oh, 2 jumped out, but 1's in my hand. So, Mr. Taylor LaFoki,
that's pretty long.
Who usually brings me some decent thunder here. So Taylor did have a kind of funny answer. And I bet you a lot of you do this too. To be honest, I use my magnetic magic deck boxes. I accompany those with the good old purple Crown Royal bag. That way I can have all my dice with my deck. It works perfect and makes the task of carrying around your Destiny stuff much less cumbersome. So,
excellent.
So congrats to you, Taylor. Shoot us a message.
Congrats.
You guys didn't see, go read some of those other answers, because there were a lot of people were sharing some great ideas.
For sure.
If you're checking out that Parsec box, I saw somebody mention that. We just put a review of that deck box up. Nate reviewed it, so if you're curious about that one. Although the Kickstarter did just end, but you might be able to get in. They might have an after. I don't know.
I was late with uploading the review. I'm sorry, everybody.
It's all right. I'm sure you can late back it, I'm sure.
You might be able to late back it, yeah.
We'll have a late back.
All these, Kickstarter lingo.
I spend a lot of money on Kickstarter.
Me too, yeah. There's a lot of board games that have come from,
I think I backed 30 projects, so I know all the lingo.
Anyways, for everyone else who did not win this week, it's another week and another question. What's your advice to players from around the world as they prepare for Worlds? That world is in that sentence twice.
Whoops.
That's all right.
Whoop. I may have had a typo error that you didn't edit on the fly.
That's very good. Anyway, so we're gonna. I got one more set of these to give away. These bad boys.
All right.
I have an extra set of those too, if any, that we can hold back. So.
All right.
Maybe I'll bring them with me to Worlds.
Ooh.
Someone
These are the
beat you.
Phasma and Poe from the Star Wars Insider. The nice
really
full
cool.
arts, which are pretty cool. So I got a set of these that we're going to give away this week to one lucky person whose name gets drawn out of the AT-AT next week. So
Rex.
that's exciting.
I'll tell you
Welcome,
what,
Rex.
the longer answers you have,
Hey, shush.
the better, the more likely you are to get pulled. So
Exactly.
let's go the
I
longer
pulled a
answers,
short
the
answer
better.
a couple times. I didn't pull the book this week, so kudos to you. Literally took half a page of my notebook. Hang on, I got a man down. Okay, who jumped out? Let me see who jumped out. Who was almost the winner? Oh, Osvaldo was almost the winner. He's won. His was funny. Card sleeves are accessories. They are accessories, he said. Had a couple card sleeve responses too.
All right.
Enjoy those accessories, kids.
All right, let's talk about something relevant for like 5 minutes.
Show topic.
But you know what I always say. Speak softly and drive a big tank.
All right.
So we wanted to talk in the spirit of getting ready for a big event such as World. I know Worlds is the topic, and only 300 players are going, and there's still thousands of people out there who play this game. So this is not directed directly at the Worlds player. This is directed to everyone. How to make smarter decisions when playing Destiny. And I know each one of us has different thoughts and opinions on this. Hopefully, now that Destiny's been out for about a year and a half, and we've kind of engrossed everything we do into this game, it's time to start talking about how can someone who's new to the game or someone who's just a casual player up their game a little bit. What does it mean to start making smarter decisions? And so I guess I don't really have a philosophy on how I want to go about this. I can just jump in and we can start talking a little bit about deck building, how to be smarter decisions when deck building. And I think we've talked a little bit about this before. There's a good philosophy out there that decks can have a clutch card, a card that is clutch when you play it.
Is that what you call it, a clutch card?
I know, right? So we're gonna coin that term right here.
Clutch card.
This is a card that when you put in your deck, you really have no intentions of playing it, but once every maybe 4 or 5 games. Otherwise, it becomes a pitch to reroll.
See,
So
that's
there
not.
are.
We have different definitions of clutch cards then. Because to me, a clutch card would be something that is reliable every time, something that is super clutch, like you always use it. But I can see how you look at it is it comes in clutch that one of every 4 games, where it's like, I would call that like the God card or something like that. But continue. We just have different. I thought you were going a different direction with that.
Oh no, that's fine. I mean, I guess. Hey, so we're not coining a term because we disagree on the definition. But no, I think a card like this for me would be It Will All Be Mine, a 3 resource event that says turn each of an opponent's dice showing a blank to any side, then resolve any number of those dice in the order of your choice or your own. It's a card that's hard to fire off, but when it fires off, like game over, like good game for the person who played the card, because that is the flipping all. Say they have 4 blanks on the field and flipping them all to damage, and doing that damage to them, knocking out a character, removing half the dice on the table. That's like that's why a card costs 3 resources, but you can't get it out every time. It's like that's also like when you talk about making smarter decisions. If you're relying on this card, then that's a bad news. Like you've got to be willing to get rid of this card and only use it when it comes. Yes, I can do it.
In the right opportunity. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I've been saying it for a while too. I think that you definitely need these type of cards in your deck that you have no problem pitching to reroll, because that is that's a reality of this game. You are eventually going to pitch to reroll. I don't know any decks that don't really pitch to reroll. Maybe a mill deck, you might not see a bunch of rerolls happening, but almost always you have to pitch something in your hand to get some better dice, because you're looking at blanks or you're looking at, all resources when you're sitting on 6 or something like that. So yeah, these are definitely something that you need to have in your deck. Something else I really look for is when I start deck building, I think that you need to be conscious of cost of your upgrades. And if you are, when I start my decks, I usually don't try to go over 2 resources for each upgrade. And then as I add cards into my events that gain me resources, or cards into my supports that decrease my resource cost on certain cards, then I will start adding more resource heavy cards to either supports or upgrades.
That's a good idea.
That's the way that I kind of try and balance myself when deck building.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and you also, when you talk about resource management, and you have to not only consider the cost of your upgrades, but the cost of your events. Like, yes, you can, you're going to get that 3rd resource. You're going to play that 3 resource card, but then you're not going to have any money for the removals or whatever.
Or pay side. Yep.
Yeah. So do you balance that out to make sure that most of your removal are 0 or 1 cost cards to balance out your heavy upgrade costs?
And that
or do you put more resource generation in, right? You have to think about those different lines of thought when you're building your deck.
And it's funny too, when I go into any deck building app or Stars Destiny DB, I will organize my events by cost. And I will go through all the 0s and all the 1s and pull out everything I like and put it all in my deck. And then go back and pull stuff out that I don't need. And then only after I feel like I've got somewhat of a solid event list going, then I will go look in the 2, the 2s and the 3 costs. And surprisingly, there is not a lot of 2 and 3 cost events. It is a very short list that you got to get through to see if any of those cards can do anything for you that is better than what those 0 and 1 costs are going to do for you.
Nice.
Interesting. I think as the game has progressed, we've learned different things. I think very early in the game, very aggro heavy, we were very much thinking, okay, you've got to build a deck that's got a lot of damage, that gets it out fast and disappears. And then we got into a control phase where, okay, well, maybe if you can't deal with the damage, you control the damage so it goes away. Now we're getting really smart about just what we were talking about, resource management, but also understanding the value of a card. What does a card bring you? It's not just the cost to the effect, but it's the cost, how it influences the dice on the table. What is that damage swing one way or the other? Because you can look, you have to make a decision on, let's take a card like Hyperspace Jump. A lot of yellow decks are playing this as a get out of jail free card because it costs, but it can remove everything because it ends the turn for you. So if you're fast enough, you can get through.
We lost you, Jason.
In the best Frozen.
That is, someone
himself.
Please screenshot that and send it. Oh, it's gone.
Oh, he's back. Just in time before. Can we hear you? Okay.
Yeah.
You hyperspace jumped right on after, buddy.
You said hyperspace jump and you were gone.
That's awkward.
Best face freeze frame ever.
Oh no! I was like, why is everything resetting? I'm not back. Going off of Wi-Fi. Darn it.
Okay, so
anyways,
continue from using hyperspace as a get out of jail free card, please.
Yep. Right. Oh, why? Thank you. Hyperspace jump costs 3 resource costs. Costs 3 resources to play, but it can potentially remove all your opponent's dice if it's used at the right time. And that's one of those like critical decision points. When do you play hyperspace jump if you have the resources to play it, or does it become a pitch to reroll because you don't want to use it to get rid of 1 die?
Right.
Right.
So explosion's another one. It's no cost to play, but it removes all your dice on the table, just 10 damage. Is that a valuable choice? I don't know. Guess it depends on what's on the table.
And I guess and then those cards are going to fall into your clutch card category, really, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of, it is that philosophy of what is the overall cost of the card. And you have to consider not only cost of the resource, the cost of the die, and the cost of the damage swing. Are you going to pay 2 resources for alter to flip your 2 dice to damage when your opponent's showing damage on the table? Is it more important for you to get the damage, or is it important for you to block the damage that's coming your way? Do you rather have the shields? And that goes into resolving dice. I think the value of shields, resources, cards, and disrupts have all increased over the last 6 months.
Well, and I would say that I started having to look at discard differently. So early on in the game, if I rolled a discard, that was a die I was automatically going to pick up and like I was going to reroll to try to. I was always trying to get damage. I didn't take into consideration that getting a card out of my opponent's hand at that point in time could be a decent move. So I've tried to kind of rethink that. How many cards do they have in hand? Does it make sense to get options out of their hand at this point in time in the game than it is to pitch a card to re-roll that to try to get damage? And it's situational, but I'm certainly trying to give it a little bit more value than I used to because I disliked mills so much. Sorry. That I just never utilized it. I just blew right past it. But there's a time and a place for it, certainly.
I mean, when you think they have one card left in hand, they're sitting on really crummy dice, and you have one discard side showing. Like get rid of it, so they can't do anything with their dice anymore.
Well,
I've been able to get some like change the tide of the game cards out of people's hand by just not re-rolling that and resolving it as it stands. Like it just.
Well, I mean, even if they have 4 cards in their hand, but they're sitting on like 3 extremely valuable cards, and one that is their pitch to reroll. If you end up hitting their pitch to reroll, they are not going to pitch anything else, and you're going to be able to finish the round doing whatever you want. In theory, you know, it's shields. Shield sides have become like so important, like we talked about, and I don't think people thought of them as very important in the beginning. It was always a pitch, or you'd always reroll a shield because you're just looking for that aggro explosion. And it's really not the case anymore. I like how the game has evolved, and that's all part of making good decisions, is feeling how the game is progressing and understanding what die sides are more important now and what you really need to be taking and what is good for rerolls and stuff like that.
Yeah, totally. And I think that, I mean, you look at shields as reverse damage in a way, right? You're going backwards on you see a 2 shield side that's almost good as a 2 melee side, you know, or at least it's going to counteract what your opponents are getting ready to do unless they can break through it, which is few and far between these days. You don't see many Vibrant Knives out there. You don't see much unblockable damage coming our way based just because the way the meta shifted.
Right.
And maybe for Worlds that'll change, and people have just, you know, I'm really curious once we get to Worlds and we've had this kind of period of lack of reporting on what's going on with events, if we're going to see something surprise us because someone's thought through whether it's unblockable damage or a better way to control resources. I mean, if someone got rid of all my resources every turn, then forget it. Like, what am I going to do?
That would be a really tough game.
There is no deck out there that doesn't need resources to do something. Except for maybe Yoda.
Or
Yoda.
Somehow you could holocron everything in. We could we could dig in the Wayback Bag and go hit your holocrons.
Whew! Haven't seen those in a while.
The Wayback Bag?
I like that.
Coin
That's
it.
funny.
The Wayback Bag.
I like it.
So I want you to... You got some really cool stats on that probability section. I think you deserve to bring those ones to the people. Those are awesome stats.
I banged my head on statistics the other night, and I was like, "Oh, I'm making." So a single die. Everybody, it's a 1 in 6 chance of hitting a single particular side. That's a roughly 17% chance, and in the grand scheme of the world, that's pretty low. Like 17% is not anything.
That's an F.
And so when you think of
that's rolling averages, then, right? That's what I'm doing. When you think poorly, I got it.
I think when you think about, because I talk about him all the time, when you think about the Spirit of Rebellion Palpatine, he's got 2 dice. When you're talking about dealing damage or favorable sides, there are 2 favorable sides on each die. The chance that I'm going to hit a favorable side on both die is about 10%, which is not good in the grand scheme of things. If I'm going to roll out Palpatine and I really want to see a 3-2, a 2-2, or a 3-3, like I've got a 10% chance that's going to happen. When you talk about the damage potential of, say, a suite of 6 cards, maybe it's 6 dice. Maybe it's just 3 characters that are elite, or maybe it's 2 characters and a couple upgrades. If you have one single favorable side on every die, and that is your god roll, you're going to hit that 0.002% of the time.
I feel like it happens more often when someone plays a game.
That's ridiculous.
That's just a single, like, that's just a single roll, and like, oh my god. And that's why you re-roll, and that's why you have control cards in your deck, because you're trying to get that consistency. If you're sitting there and hoping to gain this god roll to win every single game, like, that's unrealistic. It's just not possible. I mean, even if all 6 dice had 2 favorable sides, you're still looking at a 1 in 1,000 chance of hitting it on one roll.
Yeah.
It'll happen, and that's where the kind of the luck in this game comes from, but other than that, you've got to find that consistency and what those control cards are that either help you or prevent your opponent from being nasty.
Well, and I think that's why you don't see a bunch of decks that are like 15 upgrades, 15 events.
Right.
Because you got to rely on those events and supports to really get your focus on.
That is interesting when you think about it, because how much have we swung from the balance of events versus upgrades in our decks?
Oh, yeah.
We used to think that you wanted 20 some odd dice to come with you, and now it's like I'm playing a deck that's got 2 dice in it right now because I'm crazy, but I like it.
Well, we talked about the deck the other day that only had 4 upgrades. You know how that's insane. It's just a ton of
and
control.
There's a lot of those out there now, which is weird.
I like it.
Most vehicle decks, when you play it,
most vehicle decks have no upgrades. It's all supports, which is a different type of die, but still, it's a different philosophy.
You're still bringing die though. That's cheating that way. Saying they're not upgrades. So a few things I would like to talk about for making good decisions is at the table. I think reading your opponent is a big deal. Everybody has a tell. And if you just watch people, they will get like extremely chatty, or they will get extremely quiet, or they will shuffle their cards a lot faster, or they will not shuffle their cards at all and put them face down. Like, just watch people, and you can get a lot of information from that. I know it's not for this game in particular, but it works so well. Just watch. It's funny how much information you'll get. Also, another thing.
I'm always chatty. I'm always chatty when I play, and I always set my cards down face down on the table because I can't flip. I can't be a card flipper.
Yeah, but you don't ever have anything good in your hand, so it's just a tell, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah. There's never anything good there anyway, so I'm just like, screw it. Just sit out there and leave it there. And then I talk about what we're gonna eat after the game because Kim has no tells. She just doesn't have. She's gonna roll poorly, and she doesn't have good cards. So I'm just gonna chat with you.
Another thing I would like to say is knowing common decks, knowing what to expect, and knowing what it can come out and what will come out for what resources they have laying around or what resources they could potentially gain. And this is knowledge you'll simply just get through playing more games. Just get your reps in, play your gauntlets so that you know like what the meta decks are going to be, what everybody out there's playing. Or just watch games on TTS, or watch live coverage, or watch people play on Twitch. There's tons of ways to just even soak up the information from Star Wars SNDB, talking to people on Facebook. Most people are not shy about telling you what's in their deck. And if they're shy about telling you what's in their deck, put that character pairing in on Star Wars SNDB, and you will get 20 other decks that have that character pairing and will have iterations of their events and support suites and upgrade suites. So just soak up as much as you can, and that information will just give you better game knowledge and make you make better decisions when it really counts.
Very nice. So the one point that I often try to make, and I'm super, super guilty of this, is whenever you're going through and you're playing a game, it's easy to get caught up in the rush of it. And even though you're on that 35-minute timer seems like it's ticking a lot faster than it is. And so you're playing cards faster. So you're not taking a breath or just a second to think about that decision that you're about to make. You're just reacting, which I think I was really bad about, and I'm still sometimes kind of bad about, especially if it depends on who I'm playing and just the pace of the game, because you will play someone who maybe is an aggro player who is going to throw their card down, their next move down very fast. That doesn't mean you have to play at their speed. You still need to stay. You can't just draw it out and sit there and twiddle your thumbs. But it's okay for you to take a second and think through the move before you make it. So that's probably that's going to help you make smarter decisions overall, because you took a second to actually think it through instead of just react. Because you'll look up and only 10 minutes have passed and things aren't going well because you made some bad decisions and they stacked up on each other.
Yeah, a perfect situation is you're in like a double mill situation where you're both gone, no cards in hand, no cards in deck, but you are sitting on an ancient lightsaber, and your opponent would win because of turn placement. All you would have to do is heal yourself too and put that back in your bottom of your draw, and you're going to win the game because you're going to draw up, you'll have a card and they won't. If you don't take your time to look at the board state, you don't see that ancient, you're not going to do it, and they're going to end up winning the game. So take your time.
You'll see situations like that too, where somebody will go, "Oh, if I had just," and it's usually right afterwards. And sometimes you're in a stressful situation. I totally get that, but just take a second and think through that action. Look at all your options on the table. Look at all the options on your hand. Think about. Oftentimes, I've moved too quickly and taken a resource and failed to notice that they had a disrupt. Like, that's an easy, common mistake, and I needed that resource because I'm moving too fast. So that's probably my biggest recommendation.
Very cool. So I think it's interesting how the game has changed over the year and a half that it's been out. And it's great to see it evolve into different ways of thinking. And who knows when bartering will be more effective, because the next set's going to change his rules.
I don't think.
See what I did there? I came back to the thing we were laughing at. Oh, he ripped it in half. Did I miss that?
You didn't see that? Oh, yeah. A bartering.
You couldn't give it away.
Gone.
He ripped it in half. Oh, well. Well, that being said, I think there's some great learnings out there. As Mike said, watch games, learn from other people and what they're doing, and understand how those decisions can change, and don't feel bad about finding yourself a playtest partner who you guys can talk about those decisions and go back and change them and tweak and make things better, because that's what's going to make everyone. That's what's going to make you a better player in the end, is consistency, repetition, and some analysis on, is there a better choice? Yeah.
And to that point, be open to the feedback. I mean, every once in a while you're somewhere and everybody's going to tell you which, but at least if you have a play partner, be open to, maybe you didn't play that exactly right. You have to be open to constructive criticism sometimes.
For sure.
All right, I'm going to tie in our show topic with the hyperspace report.
Woo!
If the problem I have with TTS is that back button does not work. If you hit that back button, you ruin the whole game and you got to start over. If FFG is listening and that's what they're coming out with, is a digital platform, if that back button works, you can go all the way back and change decisions you made halfway through the game. And if you do that with a playtest partner, you can. Oh, yeah. It will make playtesting so much smoother. You wouldn't have to try and recreate the whole game state, including your draw pile, which could change things too. So if you're listening, FFG, make that back button work. That would be awesome. I would give it a double thumb. I would pay for that app.
Well, they'll make you pay for it some way or another.
Tie-in. Do you like that? Tie-in.
I like that. That was good.
That was pretty good.
The only thing that would make that better is if there was a segue
to what? You cut out because you're on Wi-Fi. I can't hear you.
I think he's just stuck in a face.
Is he really frozen? No, because I see his
There's
finger
like
going like this.
Just go on. The next thing. What's the next? Let's talk about Star Wars. Let's talk a little bit about
Star Wars.
Jedi, what do you know?
All right, we're looking at the hyperspace report again.
We're all sorts of classy tonight, aren't we?
Yeah. No, because we were originally looking at our at our Google Doc, but now we're looking at hyperspace report. Yeah, I'm smooth
questions?
tonight.
Do we have questions to answer? I just saw one pop up.
Well, soon, I hope. That's the answer to the question.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
Sorry. We'll talk about maybe just releasing them without the editing. We'll have to see where we're at.
Yeah, that might be the best route at this point. But let's, Jason, what's new with you and Star Wars in general?
Yeah, buddy.
I started listening to Lords of the Sith.
Ooh.
Because here's the fun thing. So at work, I work in an area that allows me to put a Star Wars planet on my name tag as my home system. So I looked at all the choices. I looked at all the choices that I had, and I was like, well, all these choices are very either common or not really planets. And then I saw on the list was Ryloth. I was like, why is Ryloth on this list? No one knows about Ryloth. So I started listening to Lords of the Sith because it takes place on Ryloth.
Sweet.
So I thought that was fun. So that's my excitement, is that I am now fictionally from the planet of Ryloth. I'm not sure what I was doing there. I was probably like born there during the Clone Wars and was adopted by Twi'lek parents and raised, and now I'm a member of the. How about you, Mike? What's going on with Star Wars with you?
Did we just get some spoilers? Star Wars spoilers right now?
No, I should know what to say.
Jason's a Twi'lek, is what he's saying. For me, Star Wars. So
you
I'm.
Got your pillows.
Yeah, I got these sweet pillows over here. I am still listening to A Million Star Wars Stories in One Book, is what I have aptly named it. And a certain point of view, it's a good book. I did listen to a story the other day where I was like, there's no useful. No, it wasn't. It was toward the beginning, and I was like, and I'm not going to say the author because she's like one of my favorite Star Wars authors. But this short story is the worst short. It was just boring. There was no useful information in it. You could have not given me any of that. But anyways, I digress. I'm on Legions like crazy. I am basing my models right now, and they are looking awesome.
We'll have to show like once we get something.
I'm doing my desert. I'm doing like my stormtroopers in like a desert theme.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
White's the hardest color you can paint, or so I've been told.
Not when you got a new sweet airbrush.
You know, Jim has an airbrush. I'm looking at it. And there it sits, and I don't know how often he actually uses it for. I bought
a Patriot 105 and new compressor and stuff. So
yeah, this is
set.
Yeah, I don't know what this is. Just.
I have two really good friends. I have two really good friends that work for Geek and Sundry, and they are on that show Painters Guild.
Yeah.
Brian Merlong.
With
yeah, so my buddy is Brian Merlong. He and Jordan. They're both. Like super duper awesome painters. I don't think they're Crystal Brush, but they are they're top notch, and they're helping me out on that. So
I want to come hang out with all your friends.
We got a lot of board gamers here.
All your friends do things I want to do. Jason, I'm moving to California.
California's awesome.
What? Okay. Bye.
It's much nicer weather than Ohio. It's just those pesky earthquakes you got to worry.
Only two? Like only two of my friends? Yeah, sorry. Only two of my friends work on Geek and Sundry.
What about you, Kim?
Sad.
So I'm still reading Dark Disciple. It's good so far though. I'm really enjoying it. I'm not super. Are you for? I haven't made it but I'm enjoying it a lot.
Dark Disciple is really good.
And then I need to get through that so that I can get to the Han Lando book that's out. I want to know all about that because I think that'll be a fun story to learn more about. Like it's an area that or a time period that we don't know a lot about.
Yes.
And I'm counting down the days and starting to get more nervous about Solo.
But why are you getting nervous about it?
Just don't know.
Because she's watching other trailers you won't watch.
You know,
are the trailers bad?
No, they're not telling a whole lot. I'll give them that. Which is fine. It looks like it seems like it is gonna answer a lot of the how did Han get the Falcon? I think, and that'll be to unmask that part of the story. It's just Harrison Ford is Han Solo, you guys. I'm struggling.
Yeah.
I can accept everybody else, but I'm having a hard time, and So someone messaged me what the story I didn't like was, and it was Master and Apprentice, so everybody can know the title. Is that the one? Is that the conversation between Obi-Wan and? I just hate talking bad about it because Claudia Gray, awesome. Oh, I dropped the F-bomb. Claudia Gray is amazing. Edit. Twitch is gonna ban me. Claudia Gray is just really awesome. She writes such great Star Wars. Yeah, me too. But I was not thrilled with that story. Anyways, was it that one? That was a conversation between. Between you don't know if someone's dead yet or not. You don't know who is half a Force ghost yet and who's not, and who likes the amount of Force ghosts the other person is. I did not like that story. Yeah, I see what you mean on that one. The one in the middle, bro. It's the one in the middle that. Oh. I'm almost there. We'll see. The heist, right? Squeaky. Yeah. I think I'm 2 away. Oh no! I just kept going. When is the story going to be over?
I skipped it. I got to it halfway in.
It's called The Heist.
I think it is.
The Trigger.
I don't know that the story itself is all that bad, but the voice stuff was hard, and most of it in that is really good. But that particular one,
yeah, I haven't got to it yet. All right, I'll report back.
Nothing else. There haven't been any cool things. I'm still anxiously awaiting that Wookiee that I'm going to start GoFundMe for.
The Black Series figures are trickling out, and they have a new Vader helmet. The new Black Series Vader helmet. It's $100.
So you're gonna get that and wear it on the stream, right?
So I may have already ordered it. I had to be quiet because my wife can hear me, but I ordered it.
She's gonna come get you.
Along
as a motorcycle helmet, you are in trouble.
No, it cannot, unfortunately. Oh, they did come out with new motorcycle helmets that are Stormtrooper. Yeah, they're like $700. Anyways.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's about it. There's some more Black Series stuff, but it's not as good as the Darth Vader helmet, so I won't even talk about it.
Cool. I'll have to find some more internet goodies for next week.
That's me in Star Wars.
Very cool. Well, that's a show. We just finished one.
You all survived another show, you guys.
That is a show.
Yes. Thank you for listening. That's all I say.
Is that how we're going to end it? Thank you for listening.
Good night.
Well, you have this little thing. You press a button, and there's like an official...
Thank you. Good night. Black screen. Shut down. No, I got another call to action. For all my long messengers out there, you guys are awesome. You guys are the best. You guys Patreons, Kickstarters. You guys, we got the best fans in the world, right?
We do.
I need one thing from you guys. Please go over to iTunes, rate us, and leave a comment. Like, our comments are from so long ago, and they don't even represent the show that we have today. So please go over, rate, subscribe, leave a review. That would just help us so much. And I hate looking at all those old reviews. So just do that for me if you can. If you guys got like 2 minutes.
You don't have to write them long like you do the Facebook.
No, you don't have to write long on those ones. Just a little something. All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
We
I
do
would
have
really
the best
appreciate
fans,
that.
Mike. You're right.
We do.
You're right.
We do. And then don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all the social medias, and
all those places.
Yeah. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good night, and yeah, take care.
Bye, guys.
This has been The Chance Cube, a Star Wars Destiny podcast, a non-profit organization dedicated to building community through gaming. Visit our website for all things Star Wars Destiny, including our price watch, meta tracker, and latest articles from the Chance Cube family. Find our latest videos on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit us at patreon.com/thechancecube. Your patronage allows us to grow this program and help us give back to the gaming community by sponsoring events, giveaways, and supporting our own community building initiatives. This is Mike Hill, the voice of the Chance Cube. Thanks for listening. The Chance Cube is not affiliated with Fantasy Flight Games, Lucasfilms, or the Walt Disney Company.